Hey guys, and welcome back to another Conan Exiles video. Today we are in the northern jungle, just east of the Ruined Outpost, building a Treehouse Tavern. A few people have already asked about if I had any building plans with the new Debaucheries of Derketo DLC, and here is your answer. As you may have previously seen if you've checked out the channel or been around a while, I built a treehouse not too long ago, and I think the new tree foundations definitely make this process far easier than it was. This build will, of course, utilise those new tree foundations from the Derketo DLC, along with some of the new bridge and tavern pieces to create this Treehouse Tavern that occupies two nearby trees in the area. This build was partially inspired by the tree gnome stronghold of RuneScape. Many of you have probably played RuneScape back in the day, or maybe still play now, as many of my Discord members have seen me do. If you've never seen it, the Tree Gnome Stronghold is a city built on platforms that sit on branches of a great tree. This is pretty much the inspiration for this build, and whilst it of course won't be a city, it could be easily integrated into a treetop city if you so desired. So far from my initial impressions, I think the Derketo DLC is pretty interesting, definitely a good DLC for role players, but I'm not 100% on some of the things within the DLC itself, which I'll go over a little bit later. So, without further ado, let's get started. Firstly, we are going to start off with our first tree platform. These tree foundations are weird. They're basically the same as placing 6 wedge foundations together, and being able to clip them into trees is obviously far easier and better than the previous method of building out from foundations clipped into the tree. However, as you can probably tell by the clip, these foundations are actually kind of finicky. If you have dreams of creating a perfectly circular tree platform on these larger jungle trees, you may as well cast those dreams aside now. I feel like there's definitely a learning curve with these items. It'll probably just take a while to get used to them. After placing the tree foundations, I used wedges to build out a rough shape that I was happy with, and then started on the bridge. This is where things happen to get finicky again. To support the bridge, I first had to build pillars on the front side of the platform running down to the ground, and then build across to where I want the other platform, placing square ceilings between every rope bridge piece and running pillars down. I really don't like this sort of design, but in the vanilla game this is pretty much what you have to do. There are mods that can add items that support others without being pillars stretched to the ground, but again, this build doesn't include mods. Personally, I would have loved to have seen the bridge be able to be stretched out to another point of support and then sag in the middle, exactly how a hanging rope bridge would. But the Unreal Engine doesn't necessarily handle things like that very well, so I understand why it's not possible from a developer point of view. Reaching the other tree, I built out a couple of ceilings to then start placing the tree foundations onto the tree itself. I tried to build a similar shape platform on this side as I did on the other tree, adding pillars around the build to support the build equally. This section will be the actual tavern bar department, with the other side being a games room style area with more seating options. From here, I placed an elevator in the centre of the platform and went down to the roots of the tree where the elevator landed to build a platform to access said elevator. I wanted to use the tree platforms again, however they seem to have a clipping box above the top of the foundation itself, thus I had to use regular square foundations to build the platform. After playing around with trying to integrate a second elevator, I instead used stairs to build a walkway down to the forest floor. I then placed fences around the walkway, headed back up onto the platforms, and placed fences on the gaps between the bridges and around both platforms, leaving the closest platform for the tavern itself half covered, as I'll later build something at the back of this platform. I also then created an access platform for an elevator on the other tree in a similar style to the previous one. Next, I went back to the tavern platform and built up the small store that would act as the tavern and kitchens of the build. I built a small structure on the back of the platform, leaving a small open gap at the front on each side to act as the actual bar section, in which I'll use the new tavern bar pieces to build, of course, well, the bar. In the back of the build, I raised the walls 2 tiles high, placed the ceiling in the wedge gap connecting to the tree and started on the roof. I covered the top of the build with regular and wedge stone brick ceilings, then placing wedges and inverted wedges to make the roof, placing a line of walls on top of the ceilings to support the inverted wedges. Really a nice and simple roof. As for the back square section, I went back into the build and built 2 preserving box sections on either side of the square platforms, which would then support the wedge above it. I then built a standard sloped roof, finishing it off on the top section with rooftop and rooftop end pieces. Finally, when the shell of the build was done, it was then time to of course furnish. Approaching the build, the tree is nicely lit with standing and bracketed torches, making the entrance platform far more inviting. The elevator works great with this build, and helps to add a lot to the already present verticality in the design. Heading up, we end up in the games room, an area designed for a quieter relaxation experience away from the main tavern itself. This area utilises the new chessboards, along with offering more social seating for smaller groups. Heading across the bridge itself, the use of torches and war banners help to decorate the bridge nicely, giving it a far more elegant feeling. The new rope bridge pieces work really well for a design like this, though it is just a shame that pillars are required to use them if you're not using mods. Reaching the tavern, this area is where drinks and food are served. The bars are well stocked with wine, ales and spirits and are prepared to serve food from the back room. There are also some stalls at the bar for patrons to sit on. Heading into the back room, this is where the kitchen area is located, with some more storage for drinks. This is a well designed kitchen with a clear workflow, designed to be able to quickly prepare and send out food to hungry customers. And there we have it, a Treehouse Tavern in the Northern Jungle, just east of the Ruined Outpost. Thanks for watching. This was an interesting build to make. I definitely think there is a learning curve to some of these new items from the Derketo DLC, namely the bridge pieces and the tree foundations, but overall I do like the DLC, and I feel like it'll help fill some of the gaps in resources available to roleplay players. If you've enjoyed this video, leave a like and let me know in the comments below if you have any future build suggestions. As usual, anything is welcome. The next few builds will probably feature the Derketo DLC in some way or another, so if you have any suggestions for this DLC specifically, I'd love to hear them. Don't forget to both follow me on Twitch and join the fun on our Discord through the link in the description, and if you'd like to support the future of this channel, the link to my Patreon is also in the description below, with various tiers and rewards including special Discord roles, sneak peeks at new videos, your name at the end of videos, and more. On that note, a thanks to our patrons Sammy, Doomshade, and Dawnfox. If you're new here, feel free to check out the rest of the content on the channel. There are new Conan Exiles videos coming every Wednesday and Sunday, so if you like what you see, subscribe and ring the notification bell to be the first to see the next video, and to join us on the road to 10,000 subscribers. Again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.